The Walking Dead is an American post-apocalyptic horror television series for AMC based on the comic book series by Robert Kirkman, Tony Moore, and Charlie Bard. The series features a large ensemble cast as survivors of a zombie apocalypse, trying to stay alive under near constant threat of attacks from the mindless zombies, colloquially known as walkers. However, with the fall of humanity, these survivors also face conflict from other living survivors who have formed groups and communities with their own sets of laws and morals, often leading to hostile conflict between the human communities. Andrew Lincoln played the series' lead character, Rick Grimes, until his departure during the 9th season. Other long-standing cast members have included Norman Reedus, Stephen Yeun, Chandler Riggs, Melissa McBride, Lauren Cohan, and Don Iguerra. The series is exclusively broadcast on AMC in the United States and internationally through the Fox Networks group. The series premiered on October 31, 2010. The 10th season premiered on October 6, 2019, and has been renewed for an 11th season. AMC stated their intent to continue further development of the series and related media. A spin-off series, Fear the Walking Dead, first broadcast on August 23, 2015, and is renewed for a 6th season, while a second yet named spin-off is currently in development. AMC has announced plans for 3 films to follow Rick's story after Lincoln's departure. The Walking Dead is produced by AMC Studios within the state of Georgia, with most filming taking place in the large outdoor spaces of Riverwood Studios near Senoia, Georgia. The series was adapted from the comic by Frank Darabont, who also served as the showrunner for the first season. However, conflicts between Darabont and AMC forced his departure from the series, and which is currently subject to multiple lawsuits by Darabont and others. Following Darabont, Glenn Moxara, Scott M. Gimple, and Angela Kang have all served as showrunners. Beginning with its 3rd season, The Walking Dead has attracted the most 18 to 49-year-old viewers of any cable or broadcast television series, though viewership has declined in later seasons. The series has been well received by critics, although reception has declined as the series has progressed. It has been nominated for several awards, including the Writers Guild of America Award for New Series and the Golden Globe Award for Best Television Series, Drama. Series Overview. The Walking Dead takes place after the onset of a worldwide zombie apocalypse. The zombies, colloquially referred to as walkers, shamble towards living humans and other creatures to eat them. They are attracted to noise, such as gunshots, and to different scents, for example humans. Although it initially seems that only humans that are bitten or scratched by walkers can turn into other walkers, it is revealed early in the series that all living humans carry the pathogen responsible for the mutation. The mutation is activated after the death of the pathogen's host, and the only way to permanently kill a walker is to damage its brain or destroy the body, such as by cremating it. The series centers on Sheriff's Deputy Rick Grimes, who wakes up from a coma. While in a coma, the world has been taken over by zombies. He becomes the leader of a group of survivors from the Atlanta, Georgia, region as they attempt to sustain and protect themselves not only against attacks by walkers but by other groups of survivors willing to use any means necessary to stay alive. Season 1, 2010. Sheriff's Deputy Rick Grimes wakes from a coma discovering a world overrun by zombies. After befriending Morgan Jones, Rick travels alone to Atlanta to find his wife Lori, his son, Carl, and his police partner and best friend, Shane Walsh, encountering other survivors. The group travels to the Centers for Disease Control, CDC, but find from the sole remaining CDC member that no cure exists for the epidemic. Season 2, 2011-12. Traveling from Atlanta, Rick's group takes shelter at Herschel Green's farm while they search for Carol's missing daughter, Sophia. Tension between the survivors worsen after it is discovered that Herschel has kept friends and family turned into zombies, including Sophia, in his barn. Rick learns that Shane and Lori were romantically involved at the outset of the apocalypse, and Shane and Rick's friendship becomes increasingly unhinged when Lori reveals that she is pregnant. Rick is eventually forced to kill Shane in self-defense. The noise draws zombies, forcing Rick's group and Herschel's surviving family to evacuate the farm. Season 3, 2012-13. 8 months after fleeing Herschel's farm, Rick's group finds a prison, which they clear of zombies to make their new home. Lori dies in childbirth, and Rick becomes withdrawn. Meanwhile, Andrea is rescued by Macon and the two discover Woodbury, a fortified town led by a man known as the Governor. He learns of Rick's group at the prison, leading to conflict between them. Rick's group eventually raids and destroys Woodbury, but the Governor ultimately has Andrea killed and escapes. Woodbury citizens live with Rick's group at the prison. Season 4, 2013-14. Several months after the Governor's attack, a deadly flu kills many of the people at the prison. The Governor finds his former right-hand men and kills them, taking over their group and destroys the prison. Rick's group are forced to separate and flee, but not before Herschel and the Governor are killed. The survivors divide, face their own trials and meet new faces before finding signs pointing to a safe haven called Terminus. One by one, they reunite at Terminus, but all the group are captured for some unknown purpose. Season 5, 2014-15. Rick discovers the residents of Terminus engage in cannibalism, but the group overwhelms Terminus and reunite. Some are injured and kidnapped to Grady, a hospital run by corrupt cops and doctors. When the survivors recover, they are approached by Aaron, inviting them to join a fortified community called Alexandria led by Deanna Monroe. They are initially welcomed, but Rick's group realize the residents have not faced the zombie threat directly. Rick romanticizes with a woman called Jessie Anderson. He discovers her husband is abusive, killing him during a conflict with Deanna's permission. Morgan unexpectedly arrives, witnessing Rick's execution. Season 6, 2015-16. The residents of Alexandria put more trust in Rick's group to protect the town better. A group known as the Wolves uses zombie horror to attack Alexandria, with many lives lost including Deanna and the entire Anderson family. While recovering, Alexandria learns of a community called the Hilltop, who offer to help trade supplies if they can end the threat of the extortionist saviors led by a man named Negan. Although Rick's group decimate one savior outpost, they are later caught by Negan, and forced to swear loyalty to him. Season 7, 2016-17. Negan brutally murders Glenn and Abraham, instigating his rule over Alexandria. His actions initially lead Rick to submit, but Macon persuades him to fight back. They encounter a community called the Scavengers for help. Carol and Morgan befriend King Ezekiel, the leader of the kingdom, while Maggie and Sasha rally the Hilltop. Rosita and Eugene make a bullet to kill Negan. When the bullet is blocked by Lucille, Negan's bat, Negan forcefully recruits Eugene as a savior. The saviors and turncoat scavengers attack Alexandria but are repelled by Sasha's sacrifice and the aid of Kingdom and Hilltop soldiers. Season 8, 2017-18. Rick, Maggie, and Ezekiel rally their communities into war against Negan and the saviors. Losses are heavy on both sides and many of the kingdom's soldiers are killed. Alexandria falls to a savior attack, and Carl is bitten by a walker. Before euthanizing himself, Carl convinces Rick to end the war and restart society anew. Negan attempts to wipe out Rick and his allies in a final battle, but Eugene thwarts his plan by sabotaging the savior's bullets. Rick then wounds Negan. Against Maggie's wishes, Negan is spared and imprisoned, ending the war. Season 9, 2018-19. 18 months after Negan's downfall, Rick proposes building a bridge to ease trading, but this leads to more resentment. Rick is seemingly killed when he destroys the bridge to prevent an invasion of walkers. 6 years later, his absence triggers discourse between the communities, and a new walker-controlling threat named the Whisperers demand the survivors do not trespass their territory. Their leader, Alpha, has acquired a large horde of walkers that she will unleash if they do so. After her daughter Lydia abandons her mother's group for the kingdoms, Alpha disowns her and massacres many residents during a fair. Season 10, 2019. In February 2019, the series was renewed for a 10th season which premiered on October 6, 2019. Don Guerrera, who has starred as Macon since the third season, affirmed that the 10th season will be her last, and has only signed on for a recurring role during the season. She has stated, however, that she may join Andrew Lincoln in the 3 follow-up feature films. Season 11. AMC announced that The Walking Dead was renewed for an 11th season on October 5, 2019, just prior to the 10th season premiere. Lauren Cohan has been confirmed to be returning to the show as Maggie. Future seasons. Executive producer David Alpert said in 2014 that the original comics have given them enough ideas for Rick Grimes and company over the next 7 years. I happen to love working from source material, specifically because we have a pretty good idea of what season 10 is gonna be, Alpert said. We know where seasons 11 and 12 will be, we have benchmarks and milestones for those seasons if we're lucky enough to get there. In September 2018, AMC CEO Josh Sapant stated that they plan on continuing the Walking Dead franchise for another 10 years, including new films and television series based on the original comic book series. Cast and characters. The list below contains those that have been credited within the series' title sequence and those who are credited as also starring. Recurring and guest stars are listed on the individual season pages. Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes, the series' protagonist and a former sheriff's deputy. Rick is the leader of a group of survivors and becomes the leader of Alexandria. Seasons 1 to 9. John Bernthal as Shane Walsh, Rick's former police partner and close friend. In the second season, he forms an intense rivalry with Rick. Seasons 1 to 2, special guest star seasons 3, 9. Sarah Wayne Callies as Lori Grimes, Rick's wife, who has an affair with Shane when she believed Rick was dead. Seasons 1 to 3. Laurie Holden as Andrea, a former civil rights attorney and member of the original Atlanta group of survivors. Seasons 1 to 3. Jeffrey Damon as Dale Horvath, an older member of the group who owned the RV in which a group of survivors traveled. Often the voice of reason within the group. Seasons 1 to 2. Stephen Yeun as Glenn Rhee, a former pizza delivery boy who saved Rick's life. Glenn begins a relationship with Maggie Green and later marries her. Over the course of the series, Glenn becomes an integral member of the group known for his character and resourcefulness. Seasons 1 to 7. Chandler Riggs as Carl Grimes, Rick and Lori's young son. Carl is forced to mature and learn to survive in the deadly new post-apocalyptic world. Seasons 1 to 8. Norman Reedus as Daryl Dixon, the group's primary hunter. Daryl becomes a key member of the group and Rick's trusted lieutenant. Season 2 present, recurring Season 1. Melissa McBride as Carol Pollitier, originally a meek housewife. Carol overcomes domestic abuse to become a skilled, resourceful fighter capable of making difficult decisions. Season 2 present, recurring Season 1. Lauren Cohan as Maggie Green, the eldest daughter of the Green family. She marries Glenn, becomes pregnant with their child, and becomes the leader of the Hilltop Colony. Seasons 3 to 9, recurring Season 2. Dawn Igarira as Macon, a fierce, katana-wielding woman who joins Rick's group. Macon eventually becomes Rick's romantic partner and a mother figure to his son, Carl. Season 3 present. Scott Wilson as Herschel Green, a veterinarian and farmer who maintains his faith and acts as the group's primary moral compass. Herschel is the father of Maggie and Beth Green. Seasons 3 to 4, special guest star Season 9, recurring Season 2. Michael Rooker as Merle Dixon. Merle is Daryl Dixon's racist and volatile older brother. In the third season, he is the right-hand man to the governor. Season 3, guest seasons 1 to 2. David Morrissey as Philip Blake, the governor, the antagonistic leader of the town of Woodbury. The governor is ruthless, paranoid, and dangerous. Seasons 3 to 4, special guest star Season 5. Emily Kinney as Beth Green, a soft-spoken teenage girl who enjoys singing. Beth is Herschel's younger daughter and Maggie's younger half-sister. Seasons 4 to 5, recurring Seasons 2 to 3. Chad L. Coleman as Tyrese Williams, tough and compassionate. Tyrese places an emphasis on moral reasoning. He struggles to cope with the immoral nature of some of the group's survival tactics and finds it difficult to kill in defense of the group. Seasons 4 to 5, recurring Season 3. Sonqua Martin Green as Sasha Williams, Tyrese's fiery younger sister and a former firefighter. Sasha is the group's sharpshooter. After several personal losses, she suffers from PTSD. Seasons 4 to 7, special guest star Season 9, recurring Season 3. Lawrence Gilliard Jr. as Bob Stuckey, a former Army medic and recovering alcoholic who develops a close relationship with Sasha. Seasons 4 to 5. Michael Cudlitz as Abraham Ford. Abraham is a former military sergeant on a mission to bring a survivor to Washington, D.C., to find a cure for the Walker virus. Seasons 5 to 7, recurring Season 4. Josh McDermott as Eugene Porter, a man who claims to know a cure for the Walker virus. Eugene is cowardly and inefficient when dealing with walkers, but is very smart. Season 5 present, recurring Season 4. Christian Serratos as Rosita Espinosa, a tough, focused, and very capable survivor, and also Abraham's girlfriend. Season 5 present, recurring Season 4. Alana Masterson as Tara Chandler, a former police academy student. Tara joins Rick's group after having initially been affiliated with the governor. She serves as a primary supply runner. Seasons 5 to 9, recurring Season 4. Andrew J. West as Gareth, the cannibalistic leader of Terminus who captures and coerces Rick's group into submission before being executed by Rick. Season 5, guest Season 4. Seth Gilliam as Gabriel Stokes, a priest who joins Rick's group. He lacks experience with walkers and struggles with his faith in the New World. Season 5 present. Lenny James as Morgan Jones, the first survivor Rick encounters in the first season. After suffering a psychological breakdown, he comes to peace with the world around him. Season 6 to 8, recurring Season 5, special guest star Season 3, guest Season 1. Alexandra Breckenridge as Jesse Anderson, an Alexandria resident who develops a relationship with Rick. Season 6, recurring Season 5. Ross Marquand as Aaron, a recruiter who invites Rick's group to Alexandria. Season 6 present, recurring Season 5. Austin Nichols as Spencer Monroe, Deanna's son and a guard of Alexandria. Season 6 to 7, recurring Season 5. Tova Feldshuh as Deanna Monroe, a former congresswoman and leader of Alexandria. Season 6, recurring Season 5. Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Megan, the totalitarian, sociopathic leader of the Saviors. Season 7 present, special guest star Season 6. Austin Emilio as Dwight, a ruthless and reluctant member of the Saviors. Season 7 to 8, recurring Season 6. Tom Payne as Paul Jesus Rovia, a scout and member of the Hilltop Colony. Season 7 to 9, recurring Season 6. Xander Berkeley as Gregory, the selfish and treacherous leader of the Hilltop Colony. Season 7 to 9, guest Season 6. Carrie Payton as Ezekiel, the king of a community known as the Kingdom. Ezekiel is a former zookeeper with a pet tiger called Shiva. Season 8 present, recurring Season 7. Stephen Ogg as Simon, a high-ranking member of the Saviors serving as Negan's right-hand man. Season 8, recurring Season 7, guest Season 6. Caitlin Nakin as Enid, an isolated teenager in Alexandria who forms a bond with Carl. Seasons 8 to 9, recurring Seasons 6 to 7, guest Season 5. Pollyanna McIntosh as Jada's, Anne, the impassive leader of the Scavengers. Seasons 8 to 9, recurring Season 7. Callan McAuliffe as Alden, a former member of the Saviors, but later switches his allegiance to the Hilltop. Season 9 present, recurring Season 8. Avi Nash as Siddiq, a former vagabond and doctor who is rescued by Carl and brought to Alexandria. Season 9 present, recurring Season 8. Samantha Morden as Alpha, the leader of the Whisperers, a mysterious group of survivors who wear the skins of walkers to mask their presence. Season 9 present. Ryan Hurst as Beta, the second in command of the Whisperers and Alpha's right-hand man. Season 10, recurring Season 9. Eleanor Matsuura as Yumiko, Magna's girlfriend who's a proficient archer. Season 10, recurring Season 9. Cooper Andrews as Jerry, a member of the Kingdom and Ezekiel's steward. Season 10, recurring Seasons 7 to 9. Nadia Hilker as Magna, the feisty leader of a small group of roaming survivors. Season 10, recurring Season 9. Kaylee Fleming as Judith Grimes, the biological daughter of Lori Grimes and Shane Walsh. She was adopted by Rick Grimes after she was born. Season 10, recurring Season 9. Cassidy McClincy as Lydia, Alpha's daughter and former Whisperer. Season 10, recurring Season 9. Lauren Rydloff as Connie, a deaf member of Magna's group and Kelly's sister. Season 10, recurring Season 9. Darabont Connections. The series features several actors whom Walking Dead developer Frank Darabont has worked with previously, including Laurie Holden, Andrea, Jeffrey DeMunn, Dale Horvath, Melissa McBride, Carol Pollitier, Sam Witwer, the dead soldier in the tank where Rick hides in Days Gone By, and Juan Perja Morales. All five appeared in his 2007 film The Mist, along with Thomas Jane, who originally was set to star in the series when it was pitched to HBO. Jane was later in talks with Darabont to possibly guest star on the series as of fall 2010, but with Darabont's departure, it is unknown whether the guest spot will happen or not. Laurie Holden also appeared in the 2001 film The Majestic, as Adele Stanton, Jim Carrey's character's love interest, which Darabont directed. DeMunn has also appeared in several of Darabont's films. In addition to The Mist and The Majestic, he appeared in The Shawshank Redemption, 1994, and The Green Mile, 1999. It was planned that Witwer, Private Jessup in Darabont's The Mist, would reprise his Days Gone By role in the original conception of The Walking Dead's second season premiere and in a webisode, but both plans were discarded. Production. Development. On January 20, 2010, AMC officially announced that it had ordered a pilot for a possible series adapted from the Walking Dead comic book series, with Frank Darabont and Galen Hurd acting as executive producers and Darabont writing and directing. The entire series was pre-ordered based just on the strength of the source material, the television scripts, and Darabont's involvement. In January 2010, a review of the pilot episode's script attracted further attention. The pilot began filming in Atlanta, Georgia on May 15, 2010 after AMC had officially ordered a 6-episode first season. The series' remaining episodes began filming on June 2, 2010 with Darabont serving as showrunner. On August 31, 2010, Darabont reported that The Walking Dead had been picked up for a second season, with production to begin in February 2011. On November 8, 2010, AMC confirmed that there would be a second season consisting of 13 episodes. He would also like to include some of the environmental elements that take place during Volume 2 of Kirkman's book. Crew. The first season writing staff consisted of series developer and executive producer Frank Darabont, who co-wrote 4 of the 6 episodes, executive producer Charles H. Eagley, executive producer and creator of the comic book Robert Kirkman, co-executive producer Pablo Budassi, consulting producer Adam Firo and Glenn Mazzara, all of whom contributed to 1 episode each. Along with Darabont, who directed the pilot episode, the remaining 5 were directed by Michelle McLaren, Gwyneth Horder-Payton, Johan Renck, Ernest Dickerson, and Guy Ferland, respectively. On December 1, 2010, Deadline Hollywood reported that Darabont had fired his writing staff, including executive producer Charles Eagley, and planned to use freelance writers for the second season. Kirkman called the announcement premature and clarified that Eagley left to pursue other projects when Darabont decided to stay on as showrunner, and no definitive plans had been made regarding the writing staff for the second season. Eagley was brought onto The Walking Dead with the idea that Frank was going to work on the first season and then go off and do movies. Sheik didn't want to be second in command on a show when he's used to being a top dog, and so he decided to go off and do something else, which is something that happens and is not a big deal. On December 3, 2010, in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Executive producer Galen Hurd commented, "It's completely inaccurate. In the writer's room, there are people that have set up other projects that will be their first priority if their own series is picked up as a pilot or if it's a series. I think, Eagly, just decided that he wants to run his own show." She revealed that it would be likely for the series to return in October 2011, as Darabont and Kirkman planned on mapping out the next season early in 2011. She also confirmed that every one of the principal cast is signed up for multiple seasons. In July 2011, series developer and showrunner Frank Darabont was fired from his position as showrunner for the series, over unethical business practices from AMC higher-ups, see lawsuits below. Executive producer Glenn Matsara was appointed the new showrunner in Darabont's place. New writers joined the writing staff in the second season, including co-executive producer Evan Riley, producer Scott M. Gimple, story editor Angela King, and David Leslie Johnson. New writers in the third season included producers Nicole Beatty and Sang-Kyu Kim, with Frank Rinsuli contributing a freelance script. After the conclusion of the third season, Glenn Matsara stepped down from his position as showrunner and executive producer for the series, per a mutual agreement between Matsara and AMC. The press release read, "Both parties acknowledge that there is a difference of opinion about where the show should go moving forward, and conclude that it is best to part ways." Scott M. Gimple succeeded Matsara as showrunner for the fourth season, with new writers joining the writing staff, such as Curtis Gwynn, Channing Powell, and Matt Negrete. In January 2018, it was announced that Gimple would be promoted to the newly created position of Chief Content Officer of the entire Walking Dead franchise, and that Angela King would replace him as showrunner beginning with the ninth season. Writing. The television series generally tends to follow Kirkman's comic series across major characters and plots. For instance, events of the premiere episode of the seventh season correlate to events in issue number 100 of the comics. The series does not attempt to go step by step with the comics, and has leeway in the narrative. In particular, the series' writers, along with Kirkman, often transfer how a character has died in the comics to a different character in the series. For example, in the fourth season, where Herschel Green is beheaded by the governor in the standoff with Rick's group at the prison, in the comic, Tyrese is the one who suffers this fate. Some of the television characters, like Carol, have far outlived their comic counterparts, while others that have already been killed off, like Sophia and Andrea, remained alive for some time in the ongoing comic series. In addition, the writers have included characters wholly novel to the series such as Daryl Dixon, which producer Galen Hurd says helps to create a new dynamic for the series, and keeps the audience guessing from what had already been established in the comic series. Casting. The Walking Dead has featured a large rotating ensemble cast. In most cases, because of the nature of the show, departure of actors from the show are determined by the writing, with characters either killed off or written off the show as necessary to develop the story. Cast members are generally told ahead of time if they have been written off the show, but otherwise kept to secrecy. For example, Stephen Yeun, who played Glenn Rhee since the pilot through the season 7 premiere, knew of his character's death for a year but had to keep quiet, while Chandler Riggs, playing Carl Grimes through the 8th season, was told of his character's departure during the filming in the weeks leading into his final episodes. A few actors have left the show under their own terms due to other commitments or changes, with the writings adopting the plot around these changes. Andrew Lincoln played the series' protagonist Rick Grimes since the pilot. Lincoln announced his plan to leave the show at the start of the 9th season, finding that having to spend half a year in the United States for film left him missing out on his family in the United Kingdom. Lincoln completed 5 episodes in the season to close out Rick's storyline within the series, which will be continued in 3 films. Lauren Cohan played Maggie Green since the 2nd season. As contract negotiations began for the 9th season, Cohan had been given the opportunity to star in Whiskey Cavalier, limiting how much time she would be able to give to the show. Cohan appeared as Maggie for the first 5 episodes of the season. In October 2019, it was confirmed that Cohan would return as a series regular for the 11th season. Danai Gurira played Mikan since the third season, and announced that she would be leaving the show after the 10th series, participating in a handful of episodes balanced against her other acting commitments. Both Lenny James, as Morgan Jones, and Austin Emilio, as Dwight, were transferred from the main series after season 8 to the spin-off series Fear the Walking Dead. James joined the cast of Fear the Walking Dead in season 4 and Emilio joined the cast in season 5. Casting salaries for the principal actors have grown significantly over the course of the show, up through the 7th season. Overall, the salaries had been lower compared to other similar dramas, including AMC's own Mad Men, but this was justified due to the volatility of any character being potentially written off the show. Norman Reedus and Millis McBride, playing Daryl Dixon and Carol Paladia respectively, had made around $9,500 per episode during the first season, and by the 7th season, had gotten up to $80,000 per episode. Lincoln himself was only earning $90,000 per episode in the 7th season. By season 9, with the departure of Lincoln, Reedus had secured a $350,000 per episode pay plus additional incentives, potentially earning him $90 million over 3 seasons. McBride similarly had gotten an extended contract in season 9 worth $20 million over 3 seasons. Both of these were intended to secure the pair as central figures for the show going forward in Lincoln's absence. Music. Bear McCreary was hired to compose the score for the series. McCreary stated that the main theme was based on his viewing of production designs for the opening title sequence. Instead of doing a full theme song as with his earlier works, McCreary chose to use a simple, repeating motif from the strings section. It repeats over and over, and in fact in the pilot episode, you start hearing it before the main title begins, and this is something that continues episode to episode. You hear the main title music before the main title begins, so you know it's coming. That, to me, was the little hook, that little thing that, whenever you hear it, it takes you to the series. Soundtracks. 4 soundtracks for The Walking Dead have been released to date. The Walking Dead, AMC Original Soundtrack, Volume 1 was released on March 17, 2013. The second volume was released on March 25, 2014. Songs of Survival is a soundtrack for the 3rd season and it was released on August 27, 2013, by Republic Records as a Walmart exclusive for the special edition release of the 3rd season. Songs of Survival, Volume 2 is a soundtrack for the 4th season and it was released on August 26, 2014, by Republic Records as a Walmart exclusive of the 4th season release. Makeup. Greg Nicotero is an executive producer and the key special effects makeup artist on the series. Each walker is put through zombie school and is taught how to move like zombies. There are 3 levels of zombie makeup: hero, mid-round, and deep background. Hero zombies are featured walkers and are completely made over from head to toe. Mid-round zombies get highlights and shadows on the face, but do not get close enough to the camera to require full makeup. Deep background zombies often wear masks and are only meant to be used as a backdrop. Filming. The Walking Dead is mostly filmed in Georgia. Since 2002, the state has offered a tax incentive for large film productions to drive producers to the state and bolster its economy. The first season was filmed primarily in Atlanta, though required a great deal of coordination with the city to shut down streets and parks for film. Production for subsequent seasons moved mainly to Riverwood Studios, doing business as Raleigh Studios Atlanta, a plot of land approximately 120 acres, 0.49 square kilometers, outside of Senoia, Georgia. Some existing buildings were used here, such as a subdivision that is used by several families that serves as the Alexandria Safe Zone, while other buildings are constructed as sets, such as the exterior shots of the main Hilltop Mansion, the trash heaps used by the scavengers, or Father Gabriel's church. Sets are torn down when no longer needed. The church, after its use in the 5th season, was removed and its spot used for the iconic setting for the first meeting between Rick's group and Negan in the 7th season. The property includes sound stages constructed for interior shots, which then may be reused, The interior sets for the prison during the third season were reused to serve as the buildings and sets for the Savior's Sanctuary in the seventh season. In July 2017, AMC purchased the studio lot from Riverwood for $8.25 million. Some scenes are shot outside of the studio. Woodbury, during the third season, was filmed in downtown Sonoya. Other exceptions include The Kingdom, which is filmed at the former military base Fort McPherson, now converted to studios for Tyler Perry. The series is completely shot on 16mm film. David Tattersall was the director of photography for the pilot episode, with David Boyd as the director of photography on the remainder of the episodes. Production design is done by Greg Melton and Alex Haidu. The effects team includes veteran special effects makeup designers Greg Nicotero and Toby Sells, special effects coordinator Daryl Pritchett, and visual effects supervisors Sam Nicholson and Jason Sperling. Marketing. The Walking Dead debuted during the same week in 120 countries. As part of an expensive campaign to advertise and heighten anticipation for the premiere, AMC and Fox International Channels coordinated a worldwide zombie invasion event on October 26, 2010. The stunt involved invading 26 major cities within a 24-hour period, starting with Taipei and Hong Kong, and ending in Los Angeles for the US premiere. The series' official website released, just prior to the San Diego Comic-Con in 2010, a motion comic based on issue number 1 of the original comic and voiced by Phil Lamar. The site also posted a making-of documentary primarily about the first episode, as well as a number of other behind-the-scenes videos and interviews. In the documentary, comic series creator and television series executive producer Robert Kirkman, as well as artist Charlie Board, say they are pleased with how faithful the series is to the comic and remark on the similarities between the actors and the comic's original character drawings. Action figures of characters from the series were created for release in November 2011 and have continued throughout the years with 8 lineups. The figures, which are manufactured by McFarlane Toys, are designed to resemble the actors on the series. Figures created to resemble the characters as drawn in the comic book were released in September 2011. Green initiatives. With the primary objective of reducing the environmental impacts of film and television productions, including The Walking Dead, producer Galen Hurd has directed the cast, crew, production team, suppliers, and bloggers about her series to adopt the Doodle app to make the production almost paper-free. This works by digitally transmitting interactive call sheets and other inter-team and team supplier communications, such as directions, images, menus, and updates, to people's cell phones and tablets. Hurd said of using Doodle, in addition to conserving paper, it's also easier, and it's better for security. People are less likely to leave their smartphone or tablet lying around for someone else to pick up. Hurd describes additional steps taken to increase efficiency and cut production costs. If you use vehicles that get better gas mileage, that are electric or hybrids, you're going to pay a lot less in fuel. If you use compact fluorescent bulbs, you're going to save a lot of money in utilities. If you recycle even your own sets, and use them again, that's going to save money. You don't have to buy new lumber. So there are cost savings, absolutely. Additionally, the production team aims to reduce vehicle idling, which decreases carbon dioxide emissions. Hurd also cuts down on plastic waste by personally using a refillable, stainless steel eco-usable water bottle and promoting its use among her colleagues. She shared, "On a lot of my projects I give them as crew gifts before we start production, and have water stations available, but you can't force people to use them." Franchise and spin-offs. Webisodes. To date, 4 web series based on The Walking Dead have been released via AMC's website: Torn Apart, 2011, Cold Storage, 2012, The Oath, 2013, and Red Machete, 2017. Motion comic. In 2011, AMC debuted an animated comic book version of The Walking Dead novel's beginning, featuring the voice of actor Phil Lamar. Talking Dead. A live television after-show titled Talking Dead premiered on AMC on October 16, 2011, following the encore presentation of The Walking Dead's second season premiere. Talking Dead features host Chris Hardwick discussing the latest episode with fans, actors, and producers of The Walking Dead. Films. Following the departure of Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes during the 9th season, Chief Content Officer Scott Gimple stated that they plan to create 3 AMC original films to explore events related to Rick's character in the future, starring Lincoln, and with the first expected to begin production in 2019. Besides Lincoln, Pollyanna McIntosh, Jada's Anne, will also star in these films. Gimple stated that these will not simply be extended episodes, nor will attempt to adapt any of the comic stories, but will heavily involve Kirkman in their development. The films will be released in theaters by Universal Pictures. Fear the Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead is a companion series to The Walking Dead, developed by AMC. AMC started development of the series around September 2013 and committed to a 2-season broadcast by March 2015. Fear the Walking Dead was first broadcast on August 23, 2015. Fear the Walking Dead features a different set of characters, developed by Kirkman. The series starts at the onset of the zombie apocalypse, and follows several people that escape Los Angeles as the military attempts to quarantine the city, and seek refuge along the west coast of the United States and Mexico. The 4th season of Fear the Walking Dead features a crossover with The Walking Dead, specifically through the character Morgan Jones, played by Lenny James, who joins the cast of Fear the Walking Dead after the events of the 8th season of The Walking Dead. Similarly, Dwight, played by Austin Emilio, joined Fear the Walking Dead for its 5th season in 2019. Second spin-off. AMC COO Ed Carroll affirmed during the network's investors conference call in February 2019 that the network was developing a second spin-off series for The Walking Dead. AMC officially announced it had ordered a 10-episode series, created by Gimple and Negrete, in April 2019 with plans to broadcast in 2020. The series would focus on the first generation of children that have grown up during the zombie apocalypse who call themselves Endlings, and are aware of how to survive if confronted by them, but have otherwise been raised behind walls and have never actually experienced survival. The series will take place within Virginia, and will feature 2 female leads. Alexa Manser, Nicholas Cantu, and Hal Compston were confirmed as the show's leads in the new series in July 2019. Later in July, Annette Mahendru and Aaliyah Royale joined the cast. Production began in July 2019 in Richmond, Virginia, with Jordan Vaught Roberts directing the pilot. The first trailer for the show premiered at the 2019 New York Comic Con on October 5, 2019. Parodies and spoofs. Due to its popularity, The Walking Dead has inspired dozens of parodies and spoofs featured on YouTube channels like Bad Lip Reading and television series such as Saturday Night Live and Mad TV. Bad Lip Reading made a widely viewed parody involving Rick and the Governor, entitled La Bibida Bibidum. The series' cast was shown the parody at the San Diego Comic Con in 2013, and David Morrissey, who portrays the Governor, reacted by saying he now understood why so many people would walk up to him on the street and blurt, "Hey, La Bibida Bibidum." Until seeing the video, he had wondered, what's wrong with these people? The Walking Dead has also been represented as a live comedy performance by English comedian Dan Willis at the Edinburgh Festival. A parody film called The Walking Deceased was released in 2015. Release. Scenes from the pilot were screened July 23, 2010, as part of the San Diego Comic Con in 2010. It premiered on AMC on October 31, 2010, and premiered internationally on Fox International channels during the first week of November. Almost 2 weeks before the official premiere on AMC, the pilot episode leaked online. International broadcast rights for the series were sold and announced on June 14, 2010. The series airs on Fox International channels in 126 countries in 33 languages. The 5th season debuted its first part on October 13, 2014. The second part premiered on February 9, 2015. Home media. The first season DVD and Blu-ray was released on March 8, 2011. A 3-disc special edition of the first season, featuring new featurettes and audio commentaries, was released on DVD and Blu-ray on October 4, 2011. The European versions of the first season DVD and Blu-ray are edited for gore, with cuts to Episode 2, Guts, Episode 3, Tola to the Frogs, Episode 4, Vatos, and Episode 5, Wildfire. Until E1, WVG re-released the first season in DACH in a special uncut version on DVD and Blu-ray on May 31, 2013. The second season DVD and Blu-ray was released on August 28, 2012. It was also released as a limited edition Blu-ray, packaged as a miniature zombie head designed by McFarlane Toys. Special features include audio commentaries, deleted scenes, webisodes, and several featurettes. The third season DVD and Blu-ray was released on August 27, 2013. It was also released as a limited edition Blu-ray, packaged as a miniature version of the Governor Zombie Head Aquarium tank designed by Greg Nicotero and sculpted by McFarlane Toys. Special features include audio commentaries, deleted scenes, and several featurettes. The fourth season DVD and Blu-ray was released on August 26, 2014. It was also released as a limited edition Blu-ray, packaged with a tree walker designed by McFarlane Toys. Special features include audio commentaries, deleted scenes, and several featurettes, as well as extended episodes which are exclusive to the Blu-ray. The fifth season DVD and Blu-ray was released on August 25, 2015. The sixth season DVD and Blu-ray was released on August 23, 2016. The seventh season DVD and Blu-ray was released on August 22, 2017. The 8th season DVD and Blu-ray was released on August 21, 2018, and the 9th season DVD and Blu-ray was released on August 20, 2019. Home video release for the first 6 seasons was distributed by Anchor Bay Entertainment, and home video release for the 7th season onwards was distributed by Lionsgate Home Entertainment in the United States for the American home video releases. The international home video release were distributed by Entertainment One. Syndication. My Network acquired the broadcast syndication rights to the series, premiering on October 1, 2014. The version that airs on My Network is edited to meet broadcast television standards. Reception. Critical reception. The first 6 seasons and the 9th season of The Walking Dead have been well reviewed by recognized critics, while the 7th and 8th seasons received more mixed reviews. For the first season, 88% of 28 Rotten Tomatoes critics gave it a positive review, with an average score of 7.53. That site's consensus states, blood-spattered, emotionally resonant, and white-knuckle intense, The Walking Dead puts an intelligent spin on the overcrowded zombie subgenre. Metacritic scored the first season 82/100 based on 25 critic reviews, 23 of which were positive, 2 mixed, and none negative. For the second season, 81% of 24 critic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes were positive, with an average score of 8.09/10. The site's consensus states, the second season of The Walking Dead fleshes out the characters while maintaining the grueling tension and gore that made the show a hit. Of 22 Metacritic critic reviews, 18 were positive, 4 were mixed, and none were negative. Their average score was 81/100. Early criticism of the series focused on the slow pace of the second season, particularly the first half. Ken Tucker of Entertainment Weekly described the series as a nighttime soap, comparing it to a parody of a Samuel Beckett play that had very little sense of direction and few appearances of walkers. Nate Rawlings of Times Online Entertainment section noted that the pace during the first half of the season has been brutally slow. They've tried to develop individual characters, but each subplot meant to add a layer to a character has been quickly resolved. Later reviews from other critics, such as Scott Wampler of Collider.com, recognized the increased quality of the second half, stating it seemed far more intense, more interesting, better written. Recognizing the overall season, Kevin Yeoman of Screen Rant offered praise, saying the writers succeeded in unshackling themselves from the intermittent monotony brought about by the serial nature of the show. The third season had 88% of Rotten Tomatoes, 33 critics giving it a positive review, with an average score of 7.96. The site's consensus states, "The palpable terror and visceral thrills continue in the third season of The Walking Dead, along with a deeper sense of the people who inhabit its apocalyptic landscape." Metacritic's 19 critics rated the season 82/100ths, all of whom gave a positive review. For the fourth season, 83% of Rotten Tomatoes' 31 critic reviews were positive, with an average score of 7.66. The site's consensus states, "Consistently thrilling, with solid character development and enough gore to please grindhouse fans, this season of The Walking Dead continues to demonstrate why it's one of the best horror shows on television." Metacritic scored the season 75/100ths based on 16 critic reviews, 13 of which were positive, 3 mixed, and none negative. The fifth season had 89% of Rotten Tomatoes' 31 critic reviews rating it positively, with an average score of 7.87. The site's consensus states, "Thanks to a liberal dose of propulsive, bloody action and enough compelling character moments to reward longtime fans, The Walking Dead's fifth season continues to deliver top-notch entertainment." Metacritic scored the fifth season 80/100ths based on 11 critic reviews, all of which were positive. For the sixth season, 77% of Rotten Tomatoes' 23 critic reviews were positive, with an average score of 7.35. The site's consensus states, 6 seasons in, The Walking Dead is still finding ways to top itself, despite slow patches that do little to advance the plot. Metacritic scored the sixth season 79/100ths based on 10 critic reviews, 9 of which were positive, 1 mixed, and none negative. For the seventh season, 63% of Rotten Tomatoes' 12 critic reviews rated it positively, with an average score of 6.97. The site's consensus is, increased character depth and effective world building helps The Walking Dead overcome a tiresome reliance on excessive, gratuitous violence. For the eighth season, 64% of Rotten Tomatoes' 16 critic reviews rated it positively, with an average score of 6.68. The site's consensus states The Walking Dead's eighth season energizes its characters with some much-needed angst and action, though it's still occasionally choppy and lacking forward-moving plot progression. For the ninth season, 91% of Rotten Tomatoes' 19 critic reviews were positive, with an average score of 7.22. The site's consensus states, 9 seasons in, The Walking Dead feels more alive than ever, with heightened tension and a refreshed pace that rejuvenates this long-running franchise. Metacritic scored the ninth season 72/100ths based on 4 critic reviews, 3 of which were positive, 1 mixed, and none negative. In 2013, TV Guide ranked The Walking Dead as the #8 sci-fi show. Comments about diversity. Some critics have commented on the increasing diversity of the series. This approach was initially applauded by commentators, but some have later claimed it had reached what they described as critical mass. From 2015, some began to question whether the show was in danger of becoming too diverse. Robert Kirkman has discussed the increasing diversity of the show in the comic books. He has described how he regrets the lack of diversity in the early issues of the comic book series and explained how they would have been vastly more diverse if he were to have started them now. Other commentators have noted that all of The Walking Dead's relationships are now interracial or LGBT and refers to Carol and Ezekiel, which is a change from Mikan and Ezekiel in the comics, Rosita and Gabriel, Jerry and Nebula, Magna and Yumiko, Glenn and Maggie and Rick and Mikan. The writer admits he doesn't know why. He wanted to stop and point all this out. Ratings. During its first season, The Walking Dead attracted between 4 and 6 million viewers. Viewership began to increase in its second season. During seasons 3 to 6, it attracted 10 to 17 million viewers. In 2012, during its third season, It became the first cable series in television history to have the highest total viewership of any series during the fall season among 18 to 49-year-old adults. In 2014, total viewership for the show's fifth season premiere was 17.3 million, making it the most watched series episode in cable history. In 2016, a New York Times study of the 50 television series with the most Facebook likes found that, like most other zombie series, The Walking Dead is most popular in rural areas, particularly southern Texas and eastern Kentucky. Ratings began to decline during season 7 and have been dropping ever since. This was blamed on a variety of factors, including Rick's presumed death. By the end of season 9, fewer viewers were watching than at any time since the show's first season. Awards and nominations. The Walking Dead was nominated for Best New Series by the Writers Guild of America Awards 2011 and Best Television Series Drama by the 68th Golden Globe Awards. The series was named one of the top 10 television programs of 2010 by the American Film Institute Awards 2010. For the 37th Saturn Awards, the series received 6 nominations: for Best Television Presentation, Andrew Lincoln for Best Actor in Television, Sarah Wayne Callies for Best Actress on Television, Stephen Yeun for Best Supporting Actor in Television, Laurie Holden for Best Supporting Actress in Television, and Noah Emmerich for Best Guest Starring Role in Television. The series was nominated for Best Drama Series by the inaugural First Critics' Choice Television Awards. The pilot episode Days Gone By received 3 nominations from the 63rd Primetime Emmy Awards, for Outstanding Sound Editing for a Series and Outstanding Special Visual Effects for a Series, and 1 for Outstanding Prosthetic Makeup for a Series, Miniseries, Movie, or Special. For the 41st Saturn,